Hello everyone, a very good morning. So this is the MCQ practice session for our module B. Yesterday in our live class in the evening, well, we were revising, we were halfway through our module B. So today we'll be practicing questions from the chapters that we have revised, and then the remaining questions we'll be doing in the final marathon. All right, because module B is quite lengthy, it won't be possible for us to finish all the questions in 2 hours time period. So we'll be covering the questions from the topics that we have revised. Remaining, we'll take it over to Friday in our final marathon. All right, good morning, a very good morning. So same pattern, you'll get a question on your screen. I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds to answer, and then we will discuss the correct answer. Good morning, Krishna. Very good morning. All right, so let us start. A scenario is given to you. A bank develops a senior citizen wellness FD, offering high interest and bundled checkups. Business analysis shows strong profitability and cross-sell potential. However, during test marketing, customers express confusion about the redemption rules and health partner tie-ups. The product sees low uptake despite financial viability. Which of the following statements best capture the disconnect between business analysis and market readiness? This is from the product development process, right? The constraints in product development process. Business analysis must include customer comprehension and perceived value, not just profitability. Test marketing revealed that the product concept lacked clarity despite strong financials. Market analysis should have preceded business analysis to avoid the wasted effort. A product can be financially viable but fail commercially if customer communication is weak. So, which of the following statements are correct according to this scenario? Again, this is a 2 mark question. All your case studies, all the scenarios, everything. These are 2 mark questions, easy 2 mark questions. So, which statements are correct here? 1, 2, and 4, 2 and 3, 1, 3, and 4, or all 4? You are saying B, 2 and 3. Okay. Anyone else? Others also, please answer. What will be the correct answer according to you? What should be the correct answer? Okay, let us go through the statements one by one. The first statement is correct. Business analysis, if done only on the basis of profitability, without taking into account whether the customer is understanding the product, they're understanding the value, it won't be viable, right? So the business analysis should also include the customer's perceivedness. So the first statement is correct. Second statement, test marketing revealed that the product lacked clarity. Yes, even though it had strong financials, but the customers did not understand what are the redemption rules. How can the health partner, how can they get benefits if they avail the FD in a partnership? So this statement is also true. However, first we do business analysis whether the product is financially viable for us, and then we do the market analysis. All right, so this statement will be incorrect and the fourth will be correct, although it is financially viable. But if the customer does not understand the product, if the customer does not have the clarity, if promotion is not there, if communication is not there, customer won't avail the product. All right, so sometimes the ideation stage in the product development would be attractive, but it would be difficult to convert the idea as a product, right? This is the reason. So the correct answer should be A, 1, 2, and 4. Only one correct answer. Sharmila, welcome back. Good to see you here in the live class. I hope your preparation is going well. Okay, so the correct answer here will be A. The third statement is incorrect. 1, 2, and 4 is correct. Which of the following combinations represents products aligned with the social needs? So we have studied the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The Maslow's hierarchy. Here on the second stage, we have the physiological needs, social needs, the love and no, it is health and safety. Then we had the social needs in the third stage, self-esteem and self-actualization. So which products are there in the social needs? Core savings account, personal accident cover, consumer loans, health policies for family, pension plans, senior citizen deposits, fixed deposits, tax planning instruments. B, yes, great. The correct answer is B. So when we are talking about the Maslow's hierarchy, the five stages, Abraham Maslow gave the theory of motivation. According to the theory, people they are motivated to achieve certain needs in the different stages of their life. They start with the basic physiological needs, food, water, right? Then once they have the basic needs, they move towards the safety needs, health, a good living condition. Then they have the social needs, right? Social needs, love and belongingness. Then self-esteem, about self-worth. Now, when we are talking about the social needs in case of banking, they would be consumer loans, personal loans, home loans, car loans, loans for professional development, then health policies for self and family, ULIPs, SIPs, all of these are the social needs. All right, so the correct answer is B. Identify the correct statement about Maslow's theory and its application in the financial services. The longer a need is denied, the stronger motivation to fulfill it becomes. Banks can use Maslow's hierarchy to align products with the customer's life stages. Self actualization needs are typically addressed early in the customer's financial journey. Mutual fund SIPs, ULIPs cater to the esteem needs. Which statements are correct about the Maslow's hierarchy? 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 4, 2 and 3, or all of the above? This will also be a 2-mark question actually. The previous could be 1 mark, this is 2 mark. So keep adding your score. B, 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2 and 4. D, all of the above. Okay. Anyone else? B, 1, 2 and 4. Okay. First statement is true. Longer a need is denied, stronger the motivation. If someone stops you from achieving your goal, you will be frustrated. Your drive would be high to achieve it, to check why am I not able to achieve my goal even though I'm putting so much effort, right? Second, banks can definitely use Maslow's hierarchy to align the products. Yes, however, the statement 3 is incorrect. Self-actualization are the highest needs, achieving one's full potential, fully satisfied, including the creative needs. And statement 4 is also incorrect because mutual fund SIPs, ULIPs, they come under the social needs, right? They come under the social needs. Esteem needs are what? Esteem needs are special term deposit products, term insurance products, second housing loan, home improvement loan, home decor loan. All right, so these are the esteem needs. Yesterday in the evening, we did half of the module B. Remaining module B we'll be doing today or tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the paid platform, on the Oliveboard platform. All right, we have already started with our module B. So the correct answer is A. Yes, the correct answer is A. Kamla Sharmila, great. Okay, A is the correct answer. 1 and 2 only. 3 and 4 are incorrect. Okay, yes. Which of the following statements are true about the strategic use of PLC in banking? Banks should design the product life cycle, PLC's product life cycle. Banks should design products to remain in the growth stage indefinitely. Maturity stage is ideal for maximizing the profits and the customer base. Product death can be delayed through value addition, and the PLC model helps bank align product development with the market dynamics. So if you remember, this was the product life cycle on the x-axis and on the y-axis, time and sales. So we had four stages. Stage 1 introduction, stage 2 growth, stage 3 maturity, and stage 4 decline, right? Introduction stage, growth stage, maturity stage, decline. Decline can lead to the final stage, which is death, that we need to avoid. In the introduction stage, when the product is newly introduced, the sales is low. It will take time for the product to occupy the minds of the customer. So the profits will be less. The total revenue will be less than the total expenditure. You keep answering. I'm just explaining the concept to you. You keep answering. Comment down your answers. In the growth stage, we will have the break even point where the product starts generating profit, right? In this stage, the profit could be more than the expenditure in the growth stage. Okay. In the maturity stage, the sales is maximum. This is the stability stage. This is the stability stage. Maximum sales is there in the maturity. Okay. And then we enter the decline stage. In the decline stage, there is saturation. Because of saturation, there is staleness. And if we do not attend to the decline stage properly, it can lead to product death. How can we attend to the decline stage properly? By giving some add-ons, revamping our product, revitalizing our product. Okay. So the first statement will be incorrect. Why? Because the banks, they will try to keep their product for the longest in the maturity stage, in the third stage. First statement will be incorrect. Second, maturity stage is ideal for maximizing profit. Product that can be delayed through value addition. And the model helps bank align their product development with market dynamics. So C should be correct. 2, 3, and 4. Yes, great, everyone. C is correct. Okay, we will try to keep our product longest in the maturity stage. We will try to avoid it slipping into the decline or the death stage. All right. I hope you remember all the features of the product life cycle. It is not necessary that every product goes through all the cycles in a sequence. Some products might have a early death, other products might have a early boom. Okay, depends upon the implementation strategy, right? Okay. Consider the following statements regarding the basic saving bank deposit account. It is available to all customers as a normal banking service. Banks may charge ATM withdrawals with beyond 4 per month. It requires a minimum balance of rupees 500. Non-operation attracts penalty charges. The basic savings bank deposit account. Which of the following statements are correct? Which of the following statements are correct? Yes, what will be the correct answer, everyone? What should be the correct answer? Meanwhile, everyone who's present here, please like the video, share the video to the maximum. Just like and share the video. D, one only. Yes, the correct answer is D. Great. The correct answer is D. It is available to all the customers as a normal banking service. However, they allow only 4 withdrawals during a month, including ATM withdrawals. It requires zero minimum balance. It is a revamped no frills account, zero minimum balance. And non operation does not attract any penalty charge. The customer can get the account operative again. by simple formalities, by giving a reason why they did not operate it for the time period. Okay, so it is a normal banking service. There's no requirement of minimum balance. The service is available, deposit, withdrawal, ATMs, credit of money, electronic payment, everything. There's no limit on the number of deposits that can be made in a month. However, a maximum of 4 withdrawals in a month, including ATM withdrawals, are allowed. Beyond 4, even with any charge, ATM withdrawals are not allowed. All right. The facilities are provided without any charges. No charge will be levied on the non-operation or activation of the inoperative accounts. All right. The KYC, AML will be done. Holders will be eligible to open. However, a very important point. If you have a BSBD account, you cannot open any other saving bank deposit account in the bank. And if you have already have a savings bank account and you get the basic savings account, within 30 days you need to close down your savings account. All right. So these are the features of the BSBDA. Okay. Identify the correct statements about the small accounts. Foreign remittances are allowed only after full KYC compliance. Small accounts can be opened at any bank branch. Withdrawals and transfers in a month must not exceed rupees 10,000. Small accounts are valid for 24 months without any documentation. Which statements are correct about the small account? So we studied the BSBDA account. If the basic account is opened on the basis of simplified KYC norms, then the account would be treated as a small account. Okay, so a basic savings account opened with simplified KYC norm is a small account. So if any low risk individual customer, they do not possess the OVD notified by the government, or they do not have the documents applicable for the simplified procedure, then the small accounts may be opened for that individual. Always for a low risk individual. So how do we take the identification? Simply on the basis of a self-attested photograph, a self-attested photograph, and a fixation of thumb print or signature will be taken. Okay. Now, what are the features of the savings small account? Aggregate credit in the financial year. Remember these points. When we talk about the credit, it will be financial year, will not exceed rupees 1 lakh. When we are talking about the aggregate of all withdrawals and transfers in a month, withdrawals are done monthly. They will not exceed rupees 10,000. So this statement, third statement is true. Okay. Balance at any point of time. Balance at any point of time will not exceed rupees 50,000. All right, will not exceed rupees 50,000. Then the foreign remittances cannot be credited without completing the normal KYC formalities. Small accounts are initially valid for a 12-month period, right? And it can be extended for further 12 months if the proof is there that the person has applied for the OVD. Maximum 24 months, 12 month plus 12 month, and after 12 months, if the OVD is not received, after the complete 24 months, the transactions will be blocked. These are the features of the small account. So yes, the correct answer will be A. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. I did not get the correct answer from anyone. Why? 1 and 3. Foreign remittances will be allowed only after full compliance. True. Small accounts cannot be opened at any bank branch. It will be opened only at the CBS linked bank, core banking solution linked bank branches of the banks, where it is possible to manually monitor the fulfillment of the conditions. All right. So the first statement is correct, second statement is incorrect. Withdrawals and transfers must not exceed rupees 10k in a month. Small accounts are not valid for 24 months without any documentation. without any documentation. Only for 12 months it is allowed. Further 12 month is given if they provide a proof that they have applied for the OVD. All right. So remember these points. I did not get the correct answer from anyone. Now clear? The small account is clear now. All the features are here. Clear? Give me a confirmation. Both the topics, the basic savings account and the small account, both are important. All right? Okay. What happens to a matured term deposit whose proceeds remain unpaid? It earns no interest. It earns interest at the original term deposit rate. It earns interest at the savings deposit rate. It is automatically reinvested. Yes, what will happen to a matured term deposit and the proceeds remain unpaid, unclaimed with the bank? Right. So it will earn interest at the savings deposit rate. Correct. Correct, correct, correct. Everyone, great. So I don't think this needs any explanation. Identify the correct statements about the combination deposit products. They combine features of term and savings deposit. Interest is paid only on the remaining balance after the partial withdrawal. Each remittance is treated as a special separate term deposit. Term deposit receipts are transferable by endorsement. Which statements are correct about the combination deposit products? Quickly, 10 seconds to answer this question. 10 seconds. So, as the name suggests, the banks offer a combination of the two types of deposits in a single term deposit. So, the customer will have the option of putting separate amounts at their will. A passbook will be issued for this particular feature. Remittances will be treated as a separate term deposit and interest will be given on a cumulative basis. This could be a combination deposit, right? However, a time deposit is not a negotiable instrument. It cannot be transferred by endorsement. Okay, it cannot be transferred by endorsement. So the correct answer should be 1 and 3. Interest is not paid on the remaining balance after partial withdrawal. No, it is paid on the cumulative balance. The interest is paid. All right. The interest is paid on the cumulative balance. And the fourth statement is also incorrect. Okay, the fourth statement is incorrect because the term deposits are not negotiable instrument. It cannot be endorsed. All right. Okay. A bank launches a tech driven investment product combining a savings account with a robo advisory and AI based portfolio tracking. The product gains rapid traction among the digitally savvy users. However, within 18 months, newer fintech platforms offer superior analytics and real time trading features. Customer migration begins. Customer migration means the customers from the bank are shifting to the fintech, and the bank's product team realizes that offering is becoming obsolete despite initial success. The leadership team must now decide whether to sunset the product or revamp it with the new features, whether to shut down the product, take it out of the market, or revitalize it by adding new features. Which of the following statements best explain the life cycle risk and strategic option? Fast changing technology can shorten the product life cycle, especially in digital banking. Product obsolescence may occur even with strong initial market research and uptake. Revitalization through value addition can delay the decline and reposition the product. Core banking products are equally vulnerable to obsolescence and require frequent upgrades. Which of the following statements are correct? Read it very carefully. It is a very simple question. Yes, what should be the correct answer? D 1, 2, and 3. Correct. 1, 2, and 3 is correct. Core banking products are the generic products, undifferentiated products. They do not require updates like a savings bank account. What update can be made in a savings bank account? So, core banking does not require any frequent updates. It is not vulnerable to obsolescence. Obsolescence means it is not vulnerable to technology changes. However, the augmented product, the expected products, they might go out of the market due to other competitors offering better products. No, you answered correctly. D was the correct answer. Okay, D was the correct answer. 1, 2, and 3. Right? So 1, 2, and 3 are correct, and the fourth statement is incorrect. The core banking products are not vulnerable to obsolescence and they do not require frequent updates. So we have studied about the four categories of products, right? We have the core product, which is the generic product, the basic product, right? Like a savings bank account, current account, term deposit. Okay, expected product is the minimal purchase condition. The customer expects the bank to provide it along with the core product, right? For example, a checkbook, a passbook, a debit card, and in today's time, even ATM facility and mobile banking. Augmented product is the add-on benefit that would enrich and improve the core banking product, like facility of collecting the checks of the customer at their doorstep. Those are the augmented product. Potential product is the future product, something that will have demand in the future. For example, cardless cash withdrawal from the ATM. All right, so the correct answer is D. Consider the following statements about the letters of credit. Letters of credit is a fund-based product involving immediate cash outlay. LC obligates the banks to pay upon the presentation of the compliant documents. LC is used to facilitate trade between the buyer and the seller. LC liability arises only if the customer defaults on the payment. So the banks provide other facilities as well, other than the asset and liability side, right? Like letter of credit, bank guarantee, other products and services. They also provide co-acceptance of the bills. So the letter of credit, there is no fund outlay immediately. It is a non-fund based activity. Immediately, there's no fund outlay, only in the future. If the customer defaults, if the customer defaults in the payment, then the bank is going to enter the scenario as a surety and make the payment on behalf of the customer to the beneficiary. Bank guarantee is also the same, a guarantee given by the bank on behalf of the customer. All right. So if the documents are presented for non-compliance, this means the customer, the bank's customer, has not paid the money that they obligated, then the banks will be obligated to pay. So the correct answer will be yes. The correct answer will be 2, 3, and 4. Great. First statement is incorrect. It is a non-fund based activity. Facilitating trade, the liability arises only if the customer defaults. So if you remember the letter of credit, the bank guarantee, there is a buyer, right? There's a seller, okay? And then there's the bank who is acting as the surety. That is the guarantee, the contract of guarantee you have already studied, right? So if the buyer defaults in this situation, then the surety is going to pay on their behalf. Okay. Which product feature is most aligned with the expected product layer? Access to the account from any branch, cardless cash withdrawal, doorstep check collection, passbook for balance clearing. These type of questions will be point 0.5 marks. They will give you easy point 0.5 marks in the exam. Which of the following is an expected product? Expected product. Cardless ATM withdrawal is a potential product that will have demand in the future. Access to account from any branch. Yes. Expected product is the minimal purchase, right? This is what the customer expects that they are going to get along with the core product. So if I'm taking a savings bank account, this is my expectation, minimum expectation, that the bank will give me a passbook, a checkbook, and a debit card, right? Doorstep check collection is the augmented product. Similarly, access to account from any branch will also be an augmented product. Okay, but passbook for balance trading is the expected product. All right, remember from the examples. Remember these concepts from the example. The most basic products are the core products. Something that would have demand in the future are potential. Something that adds value is augmented. Minimal purchase is the expected product. If the bank is saying we will not give you passbook until you pay rupees 500 for it, why would the customer go for this bank? Other banks are offering it free of cost, right? So the correct answer is D. As per RBI's directive effective from January 1, 2017, which facility must the credit information companies offer? Free credit score calculation every month, free full credit report once a calendar year, free CIR access for the banks only, free credit counseling for the defaulters. Now we are talking about the credit scoring. Credit scoring. So this directive was given in RBI from 1st January 2017. The credit scores will be generated by the CICs, and it is mandatory for them to give a FFCR, a free full credit report without any charge on request once a calendar year to the individuals whose credit history is available. Everyone, yes, the correct answer is B. Okay, what is a credit score? It is the credit report of the customer, a three-digit number from 300 to 900, representing the amount of risk the customer brings to the transaction. It is based on their past dealings, their current portfolio of credit, their previous searches, inquiries, all of these factors are taken into consideration. Okay. Which of the following statements are true about the credit bureaus? They collect and maintain credit data from banks and NBFCs. They provide CIRs to the loan issuing members. They track borrowers' income tax returns. They help lenders avoid credit risk through the CIR analysis. Which of the following statements are correct about the bureaus? How do they help the institutions, the financial institutions? Yes, what should be the correct answer? A, 1, 2, and 4. A, yes. Correct. Easy question. They do not track the income borrower's income tax return. No. Right? A is correct. A is correct. Yes. Consider the following statements about credit scoring. Credit scores are subjective and they vary across the banks. The score above 700 is generally considered good in India. Credit scores are calculated using the demographic data like the age and income. Credit scores help banks reduce the defaults and improve the operational efficiency. Yes, which statements are correct? 2 and 3, 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 4, or all of the above. Which statements are correct? Yes, what is the correct answer? C, 1, 2, and 4. Yes, C is correct. Right? Very simple questions. Very simple. Which CICs are there in India? There are four CICs that are given registration by RBI, the Certificate of Registration, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, and the CRIF high mark. Right? What do? They collect the historical data. The credit institutions, they will become members of all the CIC. They will provide them the information on a monthly basis or whatever interval is mutually agreed, right? Then the information will be used by the CICs, payment defaults, trade attributes, inquiries, and then finally the score will be provided. It will help the bank decide whether or not to extend credit, how much credit should be given, right? A bank receives three simultaneous retail loan applications from the same individual: a housing loan, a vehicle loan, and an education loan for their child. The applicant provides consolidated income documents and a single PAN. The housing loan is backed by a property in a registered society. The vehicle invoice is from an authorized dealer. The education loan includes admission and fee details from a foreign university. The bank's verification team is debating whether to streamline the process or conduct separate due diligence for each loan. Which of the following statements best reflect the operational and risk management approach? Each retail loan type requires distinct verification protocols. Consolidated income documents can be used across applicants, but the collateral and purpose specific checks must be done independently. Telephonic and residential verification may be skipped if one loan is already approved. Legal vetting and title investigation are mandatory for the housing loans, even if the society is registered. Yes, what should be the correct answer? Definitely expect these type of questions in your exam. Lengthy questions will be there. All right? Which statements are correct? Yes, A is true. 1, 2, and 4 is correct. 1, 2, and 4 is correct. Third statement: telephonic residential verification may not be skipped. All the three loans, separately, the verification has to be done, right? The verification will not be done on in a laid back attitude. Okay. Independently, collateral purpose specific check should be done. Distinct verification protocols will be taken. All right, so the correct answer is A. As per RBI, which of the following entities are mandated to become members of all the CICs? Only the scheduled commercial banks, all NBFCs with asset size above 500 crores, only the public sector banks, all the credit institutions. Which of the following entities are mandated by RBI to become the members of the CICs? What should be the correct answer? This is also a point 0.5 mark question. All right. Yes. All the credit information, all the credit institutions, banks, financial institutions, everyone, every institute that is giving loan, that is extending credit, has to become a member of all the CICs, and they're required to provide monthly or whatever is decided. They need to provide the information of all the loans created, applications received, any default is there, charges created. All right, so the correct answer will be D. What is RBI stance on the non-lending banks opening current accounts for borrowers with the credit facility? Permitted with prior approval, permitted if the exposure is below rupees 5 crores, not permitted under any circumstance, permitted for dormant accounts only. So yesterday we had covered this point, right? To open a current account for borrowers that have availed the cash credit or OD facility from the bank, right? There was the feature of rupees 5 crore if the exposure is less than 5 crore, or if the exposure is more than 5 crore, which type of banks will be allowed to open an account, a current account for them? Permitted for dormant accounts only. No, D is incorrect. Anyone else wants to try? No. See, if the borrower has an exposure less than 5 crore, then any bank can open a current account for them. Any bank. All right, any bank can open a current account for them. And if the exposure goes beyond 5 crore, then it should be informed. However, if it is more than 5 crore, then the bank who has minimum 10% of the exposure, bank who has given minimum 10% of the exposure, only that bank can open the account for the customer. However, the non-lending banks are not permitted under any circumstance. Those banks who are non-lending banks to the customer, they are not allowed in any circumstance to open an account for the customer. All right. So the correct answer is C. Also, in the second scenario, less than 5 crore, more than 5 crore, all the other banks may also open an account for the customer, even if they do not have this 10% criteria, but those accounts will only be collection accounts. Collection account. They will take the funds, whatever funds are deposited, it will be remitted within 2 working days to the CCOD account maintained by the bank, right? That has minimum 10% of the exposure. Okay, clear? Non-lending banks are not permitted to open current account at all. So the correct answer is C. Identify the correct statements regarding RBI's October 2021 circular on current accounts. Borrowers with exposure less than 5 crore face no restriction on the current account opening. Borrowers must inform the bank when their exposure crosses rupees 5 crore. Collection accounts must remit funds to the CC or OD account within 2 working days. Any bank with exposure can open a current account regardless of the exposure percentage. We have discussed these points right now, so you can answer it correctly. Yes, what will be the correct answer? What will be the correct answer? A, 1, 2, and 3. Yes, these are the points that we discussed. When the exposure is more than 5 crore, then the bank that has minimum 10% of the exposure will be allowed. If no bank has 10% exposure, then the bank having the highest exposure will be allowed to open the account. No, fourth statement is incorrect, right? Sashi, fourth statement is incorrect. Any bank with exposure can open the current account. No, 10% requirement is there. The bank who has 10% of the total exposure can open the current account. If no bank has minimum 10%, then the bank having the highest exposure will be allowed to open the current account for the borrower. What is the correct signing style for checks issued from a sole proprietorship account? Firm's name, signature director, firm's name, signature partner, for and on behalf of the firm's name. signature and the name of the sole proprietor. For and on behalf of the company's name, signature of the authorized signatory. This is the operative instructions, operational instructions in the current account. Operational instructions in the current account. So if it is a individual account, the column for operational instructions will be crossed, right? If it is a joint account, then the instructions will be given either or survivor, anyone or survivor, former or survivor, whatever. If it is a sole proprietorship firm, then it will be in the format. The account will be operated upon the person's name as the sole proprietor in the name of the behalf of the firm or on behalf of the firm. And the checks will be signed in the format. It will be for and on behalf of firm's name, right? Name of the proprietorship concern, and below it will be the signature of the sole proprietor. Why? Because the sole proprietorship firm is run by only one person. Plus, they can give a name of the nominee. This also you have already studied. Yes, so the correct answer is C. For and on behalf. Now, when we are talking about the firm's name and signature of the director, this could be of a company, director or the authorized signatory. Partner, it is a partnership firm. For and on behalf of the company's name, signature, authorized signatory can also be for a company, for a limited company. All right. Identify the incorrect statements regarding the account number, portability, and transfer procedures. Customers can retain the same account number when shifting to another branch. A letter must be submitted to the transferee branch for the account transfer. The For companies' accounts, a board resolution is required for the transfer. Account number portability is limited to the savings account only. You need to answer the incorrect statement. You need to select the incorrect statement, not the correct. So if you remember the the Damodaran committee for the transfer of accounts. So which statement or which statements are incorrect? D, one only. Only the first statement is incorrect. Yes. Only the first state, sorry, not the first, fourth statement, right? Only the fourth statement is incorrect. Yes, C is the correct answer. Hmm. Account number portability is not limited to savings account. Even current account can be availed here. Simply, the customer will approach the bank where they are maintaining the account. They will submit an application. Let's say they are moving to another city or they're shifting their account to another branch in the same city. Okay, the branch will obtain a letter addressed to the transferor branch that the customer wants to transfer it to another branch, and it will be signed and sent over to the transferee branch. If it is a company, then the board resolution is also required. So if it is the account of the individual, so just the letter will suffice. If it is a company, then board resolution will be required for the transfer of account. Okay, for the company account, board resolution is required for transfer. So only fourth statement is incorrect. Consider the following statements about the saving bank accounts for minors. A minor below 10 years can have an account opened by a natural guardian. Checkbook facility may be extended to literate minors above 10 years. PAN or Form 60 or 61 must be obtained from the minor in all cases. On attaining majority, the account must be reconstituted with fresh instructions. So, as per the Indian Contract Act, minor is not eligible to open a to enter into a contract, but the banks they allow to open an account for the minor, right? There are certain separate conditions for those above the age of 10 years, those below the age of 10 years. Sole account can be opened in the sole name. So the correct answer, what should be the correct answer? The correct answer should be A. Yes, 1, 2, and 4. Let us go through all the points once for the minor. So, a minor who has not attained the age of 18 is capable of getting a account in this sole name. So, the savings bank account of in the sole name of the minor will be opened. But if they are below the age of 10 years, it will be operated by their guardian, right? If they're above the age of 10 years, they can operate it themselves. Below the age of 10 years, it will be operated by the guardian, right? Or when we are talking about checkbook facility, the minor should be able to read and write any of the language. Checkbook will be provided if they're literate on request, only if they are literate, right? Account opening form will be signed by the minor in the presence of an official. Then the maximum balance to the credit of the account should not exceed 1 lakh rupees. Those minors who are above the age of 10 years, there's no limit of this maximum balance. When we are talking about the PAN card, in case of the account of minors, if their income is not chargeable to income tax, then the PAN number of the father or of the mother or guardian will be taken. Otherwise, the declaration form number 6061, otherwise not. Okay? In respect of the minors below the age of 10 years, sole account, their name can be opened, but it will be operated by the natural guardian. Also another point, no overdraft facility should be given in the minor account. Doesn't matter if it is held singly or jointly with guardians, no overdraft will be given. A senior citizen walks into a bank branch to inquire about a fixed deposit maturity. The staff is busy and does not greet the customer. After waiting 20 minutes, the customer is told to check the app. The customer expresses discomfort with digital tools and asks for help. The officer responds curtly, saying, "We are short staffed, please come later." The customer leaves feeling disrespectful and unheard. The branch manager receives a complaint and assess whether the staff behavior aligns with the service quality expectations or not. So this is related to the customer requirements. Which of the following statements best reflect the service quality gap and cultural misalignment? The staff failed to value the customer's time and business, violating the basic service etiquette. Empathy was lacking as the customer's digital discomfort was not understood or accommodated. Providing solutions rather than excuses is essential, especially for the vulnerable customer segments. Responsiveness was adequate since the customer was eventually attended to. Which statements are correct in this scenario? 1, 2, and 3, 2 and 4, 1, 3, and 4, or all 4 are correct? No. Responsiveness was not adequate, right? Fourth statement is incorrect. Responsiveness was not adequate. Why? Because they responded after 20 minutes. That too, they did not give the solution. They did not give the solution to the customer. They said, Go check the app." Although the senior citizen was not comfortable with technology, with the digital tools. That is why they visited the branch personally. Otherwise, they could have checked their app at their home also. Okay, so fourth statement was incorrect. Responsiveness was inadequate. The customer was not provided any solution. So, what are the requirements of the customer from the service quality of the bank? Right? First, regarding tangibles, the appearance of the physical facilities. Is my credit card statement easy to understand or not? Reliability, is the bank able to perform the promised service dependably or not? If the officer says that some amount will be sanctioned in 2 days, is it actually happening? Or is my credit card statement accurate? Responsiveness. When there's a problem with the customer, does the bank resolve the issue quickly? Assurance means competence, courtesy, credibility, security. Empathy should be there, valuing the customer, their business, and time, providing solutions. Excuse was given here, saying that we are short staffed, but it is an excuse. Solution was not given. We should understand the customer's query and concern. If the customer is saying that they are not comfortable with digital tools, the officer should respond to them that, okay, we will help you. All right, so the correct answer will be A. Consider the following statements regarding the operational safeguards for the illiterate account holders. Checkbook facility is allowed if the account is jointly held with a literate relative. The account holder must affix thumb impression in the presence of a bank officer during the withdrawals. A photograph must be attested and carry account details on its reverse. A certificate confirming thumb impression and vernacular explanation must be obtained at the account opening. So, illiterate, opening a savings account for illiterate customer. For illiterate customer, what should be kept in mind? The illiterate person who is unable to write, they must attend in person, and rather than signing the form, they will affix their thumb impression in the presence of a witness who is known to the bank and the applicant, right? Recent photograph duly attested should be there, and only in the account opening time the witness is necessary. After that, for making the withdrawal, they need not require the witness, just the thumb impression is enough. The name of the account holder, nature of account must be written in the bold letters and at the back of the photographs. For the withdrawal, the illiterate person should come to the branch personally. No checkbook facility should be extended to the illiterate person. When we are talking about joint account of an illiterate with a literate close relative, it can be opened. Obviously, all the implications will be explained to them. Photographs of all the account holders should be taken. Formalities will be completed. So the correct answer will be B. 2, 3, and 4. Checkbook facility, however, will not be permitted even if it is a joint account with a literate relative. Why? Because the literate relative can take advantage. They might not tell what is written on the check and get the thumb impression of the illiterate person. So the checkbook facility is not provided. Which of the following statements are true regarding the withdrawal procedures for the incapacitated customers? Thumb impression must be witnessed by two independent persons, one being a bank official. If thumb impression is not possible, toe or other body part impression may be used. A doctor's certificate is mandatory if alternative body part impression is used. Withdrawal must be done only through the checkbook. Which of the following statements are true regarding the incapacitated individuals? Incapacitated. Handicapped, old person, sick person who are unable to visit the branch for making withdrawals or any other transaction. So, what will happen? The bank will obtain the photograph of the handicapped person. Instead of their thumb impression, they can put the toe impression on the relevant form. It should be done before the branch manager. The person may also give suitable power of attorney to another person. Then the attorney may sign the form. Also, it would be advised to get a joint account with a near relative. If, let's say, they are incapacitated due to illness, they cannot sign the check or withdrawal, they are unable to come in person to withdraw money, they can put their thumb impression or any other impression witnessed by the witnesses. All right. So the correct answer will be A, 1, 2, and 3. Withdrawals are not necessarily done only by the checkbook. Other options are also available. Alright, so 1, 2, and 3. Which of the following entities is not permitted to open a current account as per RBI guidelines? So, yesterday also we had discussed the list. The non-individual entities for whom the savings account can be opened, and the non-individual and the non-individual entities for whom the current account cannot be opened. So the second list, Khadi and Village Industries Board, Municipal Corporation, Self-Help Group, Primary Cooperative Credit Society. For which of the following entities it is not permitted to open a current account? To open a current account. So, government departments, bodies depending upon budgetary allocation, municipal corporation or committees, panchayat samitis, state housing board, water, sewerage, drainage board, any political party, any trading or professional concern, right? So for them, the current account cannot be opened. So the correct answer will be B. For the KVIB SHG Primary Cooperative Credit Society, these were included in the list of the savings bank deposit. Those non-individual entities for whom the savings account can be opened. These are two separate lists. Do not get confused. Okay, the non-individual entities for whom the savings account can be opened, the KVIBs, primary cooperatives, APMCs, SHGs, farmers clubs. All right, for these entities, a savings bank can be opened, but for municipal corporation or committee, current account cannot be opened even though it is a non-individual entity. All right. Okay. Which of the following statements are true regarding the account opening for the non-individual entities? Government departments receiving grants for any scheme may open savings account with proper authorization. Political parties are permitted to open the current accounts if registered with the Election Commission. Farmers Club under the Vikas Volunteer Vahini are eligible for the savings account. State housing boards are permitted to open the current account for the housing projects. Which of the following statements are correct? Same topic. Same topic. Which statements are correct? All of the above are correct. Political parties are permitted to open current accounts. Are you sure? Yes, the correct answer will be C. 1 and 3 only. Government departments who are receiving grants will be allowed to open a savings account with proper authorization. And the farmers clubs are also allowed to open a savings account. However, political parties, state housing boards, they cannot open a current account. I think you need to revise the list. What I will do before uploading the PDF, I will in a single slide include the list of the of both the categories. Non-individual entities for whom the savings bank account can be opened, and individual entities for whom the current account, non-individual entities for whom the current account cannot be opened. Okay, I will include the list. You just remember it. Okay. What is the standard method used by the banks to calculate the interest on savings bank deposit? Monthly average balance method, weekly rest method, annual compounding, or the daily product basis? Very simple question. The method used by banks to calculate their interest on savings bank deposit. What is the method used by the banks? Yes, yes, it is the daily product basis. Daily product basis. What do? We multiply the daily closing balance by the interest rate and the number of days. right? You have done this, right? The daily closing balance multiplied by the number of days multiplied by the rate of interest. Okay, so this is to determine the total interest earned over a specific period, and mostly it is in quarterly. All right, so the correct answer will be D. Phone number, I cannot give my phone number on the YouTube platform, sorry. But you have my number, right? You were there in the group. Connect with me, you have my phone number. Sharmila, you have my number. Okay. Identify the correct statements regarding the term deposit accounts of minors. Minors can open the term deposit account in their sole name. Guardian operated accounts follow the same rules as regular term deposits. Interest is paid only on maturity for all the minor accounts. Term deposits for minors cannot exceed 5 years. Regarding the term deposit account of minors. Term deposit account of minors. Yes, what should be the correct answer? So, a minor can have a term deposit solely operated in their own name, true, right? Or it can be operated by their guardian. All the other terms and conditions, they remain the same. Nothing else is different. So the correct answer will be A, 1 and 2 only. Minors can open their account in their sole name. Guardian can also follow the same rules as the regular term deposits. Interest is paid only on maturity, no. It can be a simple deposit, it can be a cumulative one. The term deposit cannot exceed 5 years. Again, this is false. Everything else remains the same. The minimum period 7 days, 15 days, maximum period 120 months, or it can, for minors it can also be increased to 20 years. In the special cases where the interest of the minor is involved, 20 years can also be the time period. Okay, what is the minimum tenure of a term deposit of 15 lakh and above? So if the individual wants to get a term deposit of more than 15 lakh, what is the minimum number of days? 15 days, 7 days, 30 days, or 10 days? 15 days, 7 days, 30 days, or 10 days? It is B, 7 days, right? So if the minimum period for the deposit of 10 lakh and above is 7 days, and the deposit minimum days for the deposit of less than 15 lakh is 15 days. All right. More than 15 lakh, minimum number of days, 7 days are allowed. More the and less than 15 lakh, 15 days are allowed. True. Okay, maximum if we are talking about, then it will be 120 months or 10 years. In special circumstances, it can also be 20 years. So remember these 2 points. More than 15 lakh rupees, 7 days, right? Less than 15 lakh rupees, 15 days. Okay. A salaried professional who is earning 18 lakh per annum applies for a personal loan of rupees 6 lakh, an auto loan of rupees 12 lakh, and a housing loan of 60 lakh within a span of 12 months. The bank's credit officer calculates the fixed obligation to income ratio and finds that the post loan EMI obligation, the applicant's net take home pay would fall below the bank's internal threshold. The applicant argues that their bonus income and rental income should be considered and that the housing loan has a 25-year tenure, reducing monthly EMI burden. The credit team is now debating whether to proceed with all three loans or restructure the exposure. Which of the following statements will best guide the bank's decision? The fixed obligation to income ratio ensures that the borrowers retain minimum disposable income post EMI to avoid lifestyle stress and over leverage. Longer tenors reduce EMI burden but increase the total interest outgo and the long term repayment risk. Bonus and rental income may be considered if documented and recurring, but the FOIR must still meet the internal threshold. The FOIR is applicable only for housing loan and it is not relevant for personal or auto loans. Yes. Which statements are correct? Which statements are correct? 1, 2, and 3, only 2 and 4, 1, 3, and 4, or all 4 are correct. The first statement is right. The main purpose of the fixed obligation to income ratio is to make sure that a minimum disposable income net take home pay is remaining with the customer. Second statement, however, will be incorrect. Longer tenures, they do not necessarily reduce the EMI burden, increasing the total interest outgo, long-term repayment risk. No. Third and fourth statement is correct. The FOIR is applicable only for housing loans, not relevant for personal or auto loans. Yes, what will be the correct answer? No, actually, the fourth statement is incorrect, right? The fourth statement is incorrect. It is applicable to the housing loan, personal, and auto loan. It will make sure that the borrowers have minimum net take home pay after the deductions, including the loan repayments that are made. Excessive borrowing should not be there. All right? Excessive borrowing should not be there. So, fourth statement is incorrect. 1, 2, and 3 only should be correct. A, 1, 2, and 3, right? A should be the correct answer. Okay, A should be the correct answer. Hmm. Okay. In an either or survivor term deposit, when both account holders are alive, who can request the premature withdrawal? In either or survivor. Now, when we are talking about term deposit, the operational instructions that are given by the customers in a joint account, either or survivor, and both the account holders are alive, who can request for a premature withdrawal? Any one account holder, only the first named account holder, both account holders jointly, or legal hires of both account holders. What will be the correct answer? What will be the correct answer? So there are two situations that can be here when the either or survivors condition is given. When all the account holders are alive on maturity of the time deposit, any of the account holder can take the payment. In case of premature payment, the consent of all the account holders is essential. In the situation when the either or survival instructions are given, but any one of the account holder has expired, on maturity, any of the surviving account holder can take payment. But in case of premature payment, the consent of the legal hire of the deceased and all other surviving account holders is essential. Okay, so in this situation, the correct answer will be when both account holders are alive, both account holders jointly. Consent of all the joint holders is important. Okay, in case of maturity, in case of the account maturing, anyone can take the payment, but in case of premature withdrawal, consent of all the account holders is important. So C is the correct answer. All right, C. Clear everyone? Remember the 2 points. If all the account holders are surviving, then any account holder can take the maturity and consent of all in case of premature withdrawal. If one of the account holder has died on maturity, any of the surviving account holder can take the payment. In case of premature withdrawal, however, consent of all the surviving account holders and the legal heir of the deceased person is also required. Identify the correct statements regarding the interest and repayment of the time deposit. Interest on reinvestment deposits maturing on holidays is paid on the maturity value. Repayment of deposits more than 20,000 must be made via the account pay instrument or account credit. Interest is paid at the savings rate if maturity falls on a Sunday. Deposits maturing on holidays earn no interest for the intervening day. Yes, what is the correct answer? We have two types of term deposit, right? Where we can accept the interest. In a simple, the interest is sent to the savings account, and in a cumulative, it is reinvested. Okay. If the maturity date falls on a holiday, then on the next working day, the payment will be given to the customer. And for the intervening days, interest is paid. For the simple deposit, on the principal amount, the savings, whatever was agreed upon in the beginning, that interest rate is paid. In a cumulative, reinvested, the matured sum plus whatever is the interest rate is paid. Right? When the maturity date falls on the holiday. So the correct answer will be A, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Yes, correct. Interest is not paid at savings rate if the maturity falls on a Sunday. No, it is paid at the rate agreed upon, the originally agreed upon, on the principal amount. Deposits maturing on holidays, they do earn interest. All right, so the correct answer will be A, 1 and 2. All right, how the repayment of deposits is made? Mode of repayment of deposit is made if the aggregate amount of all deposits held by the person together with interest is 20,000 rupees or more. Then the repayment will be made in the account payee or the banker's check draft or crediting the account of the depositor. All right, 20,000 rupees. What is the interest rate applicable on the unclaimed matured FD as per RBI 2021 directive? Contracted FD rate, savings account rate, higher of FD or savings rate, lower of FD or savings rate. So when the account has matured but it remains unclaimed with the bank. It remains unclaimed with the bank. What is the interest rate applicable? Is it the FD rate, savings account rate, higher of the two, lower of the two? Savings account rate, no. The correct answer will be either the savings rate or the FD rate, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower, right? Whichever is lower. Do you remember this point? When the account matures and it is not claimed, it remains with the bank, then the interest which will be payable will be either the savings deposit rate or the agreed upon date between the customer and the bank, whichever is lower. Both the options are there. All right, is this clear? Okay. Hmm. What is the deadline for the banks to deposit the TDS deducted in a month of March? 7th April, 15th April, 30th April, or 7th May? So, if you remember, you have studied about this in your AFM paper as well. 1 month extra is provided if you remember that clause. So, the deadline for the banks to deposit TDS deducted in the month of March is what? 30 days time period is given, 30th April, 30th April, not 7th, 30th April. Basic fact based question. If you remember it, you will answer it correctly. If you could not remember it in the exam, then make a calculated guess. 1 month period. Okay. What is the mechanism used to break the FDs during the reverse sweep when we are talking about the two in one account? Auto sweep and reverse sweep. What mechanism is used to break the FD during the reverse sweep? First in, first out, random selection, highest value first, or last in, first out. So, auto sweep and reverse sweep are very important concept. Auto sweep means when there is excess in our savings deposit, this excess amount in the multiple of 1000 will be swept to the FD and higher rate of interest will be earned. Reverse sweep means when there is shortfall in the FD account, then from the FD, the shortfall will be transferred to the savings deposit, right? And what is followed? Last in, first out. Correct. Everyone, correct. Identify the correct statements regarding the auto sweep and reverse sweep facility. Auto sweep transfers the excess balance to the FD automatically. Reverse sweep breaks the FD only after the manual approval. FDs formed through the auto sweep carry the prevailing FD interest rate. Reverse sweep breaks the most recent created FD first. What is the correct answer? Which statements are correct about the two in one account? Answer this question. First statement is correct. Yes. Auto sweep transfers excess the balance to the FD automatically. True. FDs are formed through auto sweep. The same FD interest rate as applicable. Reverse sweep, we already discussed, last in, first out. However, everything is done automatically. Automatically. Right? Manual approval is not required for the auto sweep or reverse sweep facility. Right? So the customer will just give the instruction that, let's say, 5,000 rupees, whenever there is extra, 5,000 rupees will be sent to FD, or wherever there's a shortfall, this will be sent from the FD to the savings bank. Automatically it will be done. Right? Yes. A couple applies to open a joint account. One applicant provides a passport containing both identity and address proof. The other provides a voter ID and a utility bill. The branch officer asks for an additional OVD from the first applicant and seeks an introducer for the second. The applicant questions the need of an extra documentation and introduction. Which of the following statements best clarify the procedural correctness? Banks may seek an introducer while opening account to verify the customer background. The CDD must be completed independently for each joint account holder. Customer due diligence. Introduction is not required as per the RBI KYC norms. If an OVD contains both identity address, no additional document is required. So, which statements are correct? Which statements are correct? 1, 2, and 4, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 3, or all 4? What should be the correct answer, everyone? So, introduction is not required. Introduction is not required. Also, if the OVD contains both identity and address, no additional document will be required. If the OVD does not have the identity or address proof separately, then we will take a utility bill, electricity bill, or any other document. Introduction is not required. So the correct answer will be no, the correct answer will be A. 1, 2, and 4. Okay? 1, 2, and 4 is correct. A. What happens if a depositor fails to maintain sufficient balance for standing instructions in a recurring deposit account? What happens in a recurring deposit? I am a salaried person. If I want, I can give instructions to the bank that every month from the salary that I'm receiving, this amount should be deducted and credited to my fixed deposit. What if sufficient balance, let's say the amount that I've told is 5,000. What if 5,000 rupees are not there in my account? The account is closed immediately. The installment is treated in arrears. The bank waives the installment. Or the depositor earns bonus interest. Yes, the correct answer will be B. The installment is treated in arrears. If at any point the advance the credit is done, there will be no extra benefit for it. No extra benefit for advanced installments. Consider the following statements about the RD account operations. Installments can be paid in advance, but no extra benefit is given. Standing instructions are subject to the service charges. Penal interest is calculated automatically by the system. Installments paid within the calendar month are considered timely. Yes. What should be the correct answer? What should be the correct answer? 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 3, and 4, or all of the above. First statement is correct. I already told you, right? If installments are paid in advance, no extra benefits are given. Standing instructions are subject to the service charges. If the customer wants to give a standing instruction, service charges will be there. Penal interest will be calculated automatically, and installments paid within the calendar month are timely. All of the above statements are correct. All of the above statements are correct about the recurring deposit, right? The recurring deposit, every other feature remains the same as was there in the fixed deposit. It can be by a person in their own name, more than one person in their joint name. Minor of the age of 10 years and above can also be eligible for opening an RD. They can also get an account with their father or mother, right? Operational instructions whichever are given, right? It will be as per the service charges. Monthly installment should be paid on or before the last working day. At the time of receiving the installments, penal interest rate on arrears may not be recovered. However, each time the installment falls in arrears, penal interest rate is calculated by the system itself. All right. Penalty to be levied on delayed installments will also be there. Standing instructions are subject to the service charge. If the customer wants to give a standing instruction, certain service charges are there related to it, right? It is there. Like if the customer wants the transfer installments from the current account or the savings bank account from time to time against the payment of the service charges only, it will be allowed, right? Whatever charges are there for making the transfer, those service charges will be collected by the bank. It is not free of any charges. All right, from your savings or current account you are transferring the amount to your FD in the RD, right? So in that scenario, for the transfers, the service charges will be applicable. Okay, it will be applicable. All right. Which of the following statements are true about the flexible or variable RD accounts? Depositors can vary the installment amount. Minimum deposit amount and its multiples are prescribed. Interest rate is lower than the standard RD account. Terms and conditions they vary by the bank. This is also a very simple question. Which statements are correct? 1, 2, and 4, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, or all of the above? We still have 10 more questions to go. Around 15 minutes more, we will continue the session. Okay, around 15 more minutes. So, which statements are correct? Regarding the flexible or variable RD account. In the RD account, normally the transfers that are to be done are stipulated. In a flexible, the depositors can vary the installment amount. Minimum deposit amount will be told that minimum 1000 rupees, maximum if I have something extra that can also be transferred. However, the interest rate is not lower than the standard RD. The RD or flexible RD, also the fixed or term deposit, the interest rate is offered by the is same. By the bank is the same. Okay? And the terms and conditions they also vary from bank to bank. So the correct answer will be A. Only third statement is incorrect. Only third statement is incorrect. Interest rate is not lower than the standard RD account when we are talking about the flexible or variable RD. All right? Okay. Hmm. Here's a scenario. Mr. Rajan, who is a salaried employee, aged 58 years, applies for a home loan of 85 lakh rupees to purchase a ready to move flat. His net take home income after deductions, including proposed EMI, is 35,000 rupees, which is 18% of his gross salary. The bank policy allows 15% take home for the high income applicants. What should the bank do? Reject the loan due to insufficient take home income, approve the loan with a tenure of 30 years, approve the loan with a tenure restricted to 7 years, approve the loan with a tenure restricted to retirement age. So the net take home pay should be more than whatever is stipulated by the internal policy. So it is 15%, but here it is 18%. So obviously bank will not reject the loan on this ground. Second, banks they calculate the repayment period mostly on the basis of the customer's retirement. Normally, it has to be repaid before the date of retirement in case of salaried persons, before attaining the age of 65 years in case of others. So it is a salaried, Mr. Rajan is a salaried employee. No, if they approve it for 30 years, it will be beyond their retirement age, way beyond their retirement age. The loan will be approved and the tenure will be restricted to the retirement age. Whatever is the age of retirement before that, the loan should be repaid by Mr. Rajan. Yes, D is the correct answer. Okay, D is the correct answer. If others was there, other than salaried individual, then the loan would be restricted to 7 years till they attain the age of 65 years. But they are a salaried employee, so the retirement age is also flexible. Before their retirement age, the loan should be repaid. A customer with a floating rate home loan wants to prepay 10 lakh rupees from a bonus. What charges should the bank apply? 2% prepayment penalty, no prepayment penalty, 1% prepayment penalty if the loan tenure is below 5 years. Charges applicable only on the fixed rate loan. It is a floating rate home loan.
They want to prepay 10 lakh rupees from a bonus. Yes, no prepayment charges will be there. Easy question, right? There is no prepayment charges. There is no prepayment charges. Okay. On floating rate loan, there is no prepayment charges. Mr. and Mrs. Mehta, a married couple with a combined annual income of rupees 10.5 lakh, applied jointly for a home loan of 18 lakh rupees to purchase a flat with a carpet area of 135 square meter. They do not own any pakka house. What is the correct credit linked subsidy scheme classification and the subsidy treatment? So now we are talking about the housing loan under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the PM Awas Yojana. So a married couple who do not own a pakka house, their income is 10.5 lakh and they want to get a house of 135 square meter. Under which category will they fall? In the MIG 1, interest subsidy on 9 lakh rupees, MIG 2, interest subsidy on 12 lakh rupees, not eligible due to the carpet area exceeding MIG 1 limit, eligible under the MIG 2, no subsidy due to the income exceeding 12 lakh rupees. Yes, what will be the correct answer? What will be the correct answer? If you remember the categories, yes, they will fall under the MIG 1 category and interest subsidy on 9 lakh rupees. What is the criteria for MIG 1? If the income is 9 lakh rupees, no, the maximum loan amount eligible for subsidy is 9 lakh rupees. Okay, their income should be between 6 lakh to 125 lakh. All right, 6 lakh to 125 lakh. Here, their income is 125 lakh. Sorry, 6 lakh to 12 lakh. Okay, 6 lakh to 12 lakh. Interest subsidy will be 4%. Maximum loan amount will be 9 lakh. Okay, so the correct answer will be A. They are eligible under the MIG 1 category. Okay, a student secures admission to a diploma course in shipping in Singapore, recognized by the Indian Directorate General of Shipping. He applies for a rupees 15 lakh loan. What is the correct eligibility and margin treatment? Not eligible as the course is abroad, eligible with 5% margin, eligible with 15% margin, eligible with no margin due to the regulatory recognition. Yes. Education loan, first most important point for education studies in India as well as abroad, just that the student should be Indian, right? So the first statement will be incorrect for the eligibility criteria. Okay, student should be an Indian national. Admission could be for courses in India as well as abroad. Now, this course is recognized by the Directorate General, so it is also eligible, right? If we talk about the margin, up to 4 lakh rupees, no margin is there. Above 4 lakh rupees for studies in India, 5%, and for studies abroad, it is eligible with 15% margin. Yes. Above 4 lakh, margin is taken. In India, the course is in India 5%, course is abroad 15%. Okay. A student from a family with the annual income of 4.2 lakh applies for a loan of 7 lakh for a BTech course in India. What subsidy is applicable under the CSIS? Full interest subsidy during moratorium, 50% of the interest subsidy for the first year, no subsidy due to income exceeding 4 lakh rupees, subsidy only if the course is abroad. Yes, what will be the correct answer? What will be the correct answer? The CSIS scheme, Central Sector after interest subsidy provides, it is a government of India scheme, and what does it provide? It provides full interest subsidy during the period of moratorium. What is the period of moratorium? It is a period of the course plus 1 year. Period of the course plus 1 year on education loan which is taken from the scheduled banks. All right. Students belonging to the economically weaker section, and the annual gross parental income, the upper limit is 4.5 lakh rupees. All right, so it is not exceeding 4 lakh. No, not C. The limit here is 4.5 lakh, and the annual income of the family of the student is 4.2 lakh. So full interest subsidy during the moratorium will be given. Okay, remember the category. The weaker section, annual gross parental income upper limit should be 4.5 lakh per year from all their sources, right? Avi, who is a 17-year-old student, secures admission to a BTech program and applies for a 6 lakh education loan. His father executes the loan documents. What must the bank do upon Ravi turning 18? Re-execute the loan document, obtain a fresh KYC from Ravi, obtain a letter of ratification from Ravi, or no further action is required. So when the student becomes of the majority age and they still need to repay, what will be done? What should be done in the education loan? What will be done? See, there is no specific restriction regarding to the age of the student for the eligibility of education loan. However, if the student is a minor while the parent executes the documents, at the time of the student attaining majority, the bank will obtain a letter of ratification. Why I'm not getting any answers? The bank will obtain a letter of ratification from Ravi once they get to the age of 18. Letter of ratification means that they have availed the loan and they want to continue it. Okay, so the correct answer is C. All right. Mr. Khan, who is earning 2.8 lakh rupees annually, applies for a six, no, not obtain a letter from ratification is important. Okay. Mr. Khan, who is earning 2.8 lakh rupees annually, applies for a 6 lakh loan to purchase a flat with carpet area of 32 square meter. He is single and does not own a pakka house. What is the correct classification and the subsidy treatment? Eligible under the lower income group, subsidy of 6 lakh rupees. Under EWS, subsidy on 6 lakh rupees. Not eligible due to the carpet area exceeding the EWS limit. Eligible under the MIG 1, subsidy on 9 lakh rupees. What will be the correct answer? Income is what? Income is 2.8 lakh rupees and carpet area of 32 square meters. See, here the carpet area, although is exceeding 32 square meter, but the states are allowed to to have flexibility in the amount, right? They are allowed to have flexibility. Their income is 2.8 lakh annually. This is less than 3 lakh, which is under the EWS category, right? So they are eligible as the EWS and subsidy will be given on 6 lakh rupees. Just because the carpet area is exceeding the EWS limit by just 2 square meter, they will not become ineligible. All right, the states are allowed to set their own carpet area. Okay, they're allowed to set their own carpet area. So this person, Mr. Khan, will not become ineligible. All right. And their income is less than 3 lakh rupees. So, yes, they will be under the EWS category. Okay. Miss Kapoor, who applies for a personal loan. Her credit card shows 5 recent inquiries for unsecured loans and 2 new credit card opened in the last quarter. What should the bank infer? She is financially disciplined. She is diversifying her credit portfolio. She is consolidating her debt. She is over leveraged and credit hungry. Now, this is from the credit scoring part, right? She has availed recently, she has applied for 5 unsecured loans, 2 credit cards. How do we classify the behavior of Miss Kapoor? She is over leveraged and credit hungry. Your loan portfolio should include not only unsecured loans but also secured loans. Not only credit cards. If it includes only credit cards, it will again be a negative point. All right. Also, the utilization of credit is important. You should be a safe customer. If you are overutilizing your limit, again, this will negatively impact the score. Which of the following statements are true about the TDS compliance by the banks? The banks must issue Form 16A for the TDS deducted. The TDS must be deposited by 7th of the following month except for March. TDS rate is 10% with PAN and 20% without PAN. TDS is not applicable on the cumulative FD. Yes, what should be the correct answer? What should be the correct answer regarding the TDS by the banks? What should be the correct answer? A. Statement 4 is incorrect. TDS is not applicable on the cumulative FD. Yes, TDS is not applicable on the cumulative FD. The cumulative FD, all the terms and conditions, TDS, interest rate, maturity, withdrawal, everything is correct. Okay, everything is same. TDS is also applicable. All right. For all other months except March, for March it will be on 30th of April. Form 16A for TDS deducted. Yes. Last question for today. What is the prescribed mode of repayment for the time deposits exceeding 20,000 rupees at a single branch? Cash only, demand draft without endorsement, NEFT only, account pay banker's check or credit to the account. The accepted mode of repayment for the time deposit exceeding 20,000 rupees at a single branch. Oops, A. Yes, A was the correct answer. Right. Answer this one. The prescribed mode of repayment for the time deposit exceeding 20,000 rupees at a single branch, it is account pay banker's check or credit to the account. Correct. The correct answer is D. And with this, we have completed today's session. However, we have not completed the module B. We have done till unit 9. 5 units of module B have been completed. 7 more are remaining, which we will be doing in the Maha Marathon on 14th. On 14th, we will be completing the questions from our module B. Now, today in the evening at 7 p.m., we are going to meet on the Oliveboard platform. We'll be revising the next module. And then tomorrow in the morning at 7 a.m. again, we will be meeting on the YouTube platform. All right, so you'll get the PDF. You can download it from the platform under the courses section, YouTube. Okay, so please like the video before you leave. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can let me know. And now we will meet in the evening. So thank you so much. Have a great day ahead and all the best. Thank you, everyone.